Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. I am making another bonsai pot today. Today I'm going to be making a deep oval-shaped pot with a flared lip and a rounded bottom. Should be quite a challenge, so here I go. I'll begin by cutting off my basic lump of clay that I'll be using, so here I go. Like that. I'll roll the top to flatten it out. That's okay. And then I need to cut out my basic oval shape. I'm going to freehand the oval on the top here. So here I go. I'll start here and here. I think something like that will look good. So then I will cut out my basic shape. I'll try the scalpel, see how that works. So again, this will be a miniature pot. So that has got my basic oval shape cut out now. Next, I need to determine how high I'm going to make this pot. And I'm thinking if the feet are kind of down here, it'll be rounded, maybe somewhere about here. So I'll cut the top off. Like that. So that's got my clay down to a rough size. So next I'll get my tool and I'll just start to flatten the top surface. Something like that. And then I'll clean up my outer profile. Just getting it a little nicer of an oval shape. So next I'm going to lay out the lip, and this will have a fairly large lip and it'll stick out, so I should scribe it in first. So let me just flatten this again, make sure my bottom's flat before I true the top up. Okay, so the bottom is flat on the wood, so now I'll just true my top up so it's parallel. So I'll just take a skim off the clay. Okay, that looks good. I'll just get rid of all that flashing. So the clay is quite soft now, so I'm just doing all my roughing in work. And as it hardens, then you slowly refine it. Okay, so that's got my top flattened parallel with the bottom. So now I can come in and lay out the lip. So I will come down to here and I'll just scribe a line around. Now I'll come in with my rounded wire tool and I will start my basic lip, and it'll be a rounded transition to the lip. So I'm going to carve out a fillet here. So that's rough all the way around, roughed in. So now I'm going to take away clay, tapering the bottom. So that's got my sides roughed in. Next, I'm going to lay out my feet, and I can round the bottom then. So height for my feet will be about I'd say about there. So I will scribe the line in for my feet now, which will be the bottom of the pot, or close to it anyway. Okay, so that looks good. Then I will start to round the bottom here. So I'll come in and I'll just skim off this part. Like that. And I think I'm going to need to make my lip a little more, well, have it sticking out a bit more, so I've got to take off some more off the sides here. I'm too thin with the edge of the lip. It's not sticking out far enough. Okay, and then I'll work on sculpting the sides down again. Getting the basic taper to the pot. Okay, so that's kind of got the basic shape established now. I'm going to start hollowing out the top of it. So that will be next. So I'll come in with my round tool here, and I will come in and start scooping it out, leaving a fairly large lip around the pot for starters, and then it'll get refined as I go. Okay, so I'm getting down closer to the final depth, I think, from the, for hollowing it out. I'll get it down to a final depth as the clay toughens up more. I think my pot is looking more egg-shaped now. So next I can do some basic layout work on the feet. So I'll flip the pot upside down and lay out the feet. So I'm going to have 4 feet. So I will put 1 foot here, 1 here. So that's kind of got the basic feet laid out. So now I'll subtract the material from the middle here, so the feet stick out. So there is the feet roughly laid out. So I'm just having a look at the pot now. So the feet are definitely too big, but that's okay. And my oval shape has kind of got out of square, so I need to start shaping that. So the clay is slowly starting to get a little tougher. It's still quite soft, but it's getting better. So I'll start refining my shape now. This will give me a rough look at the proportions of the pot. So you can kind of stand back and get a feel for what it looks like, and then you can make any changes if it's just not looking right, if the height's too tall or if it's too fat looking. Okay, so the feet are definitely too thick, so they'll have to be reduced, but the overall shape of the pot is a little funny. It's needs a bit of fixing up. Okay, I'm going to reskim the feet now, getting them to the right height. I'm sure it's gone quite a bit out of shape, and I need to reduce them back. So the feet will probably be the height of the middle here. So I'll just skim some off those feet. And then I think I'll set one from the height of my feet. They're still about twice as thick as they need to be. So I'll come in and put a line around where the bottom of my feet should be. And I can skim this off, I think. Just like that. So that's better height for my feet now. Okay, I've got some lines established now, so I can start doing some more work. Cleaning up things. The clay is getting to a nice consistency now. It's that nice zone where it's easy to carve, and it tends to hold its shape better. So the feet are very crudely roughed in. I'm going to wait till the clay's a little more firm before I do any more work on them. So again, I'm going to stand back and have a look at the pot, make sure it's looking okay. So here's a look at the rough proportions of the pot. I think it's looking good. Looks sort of like a classical bonsai pot. So I'll let that toughen up a bit and then start the refinement process. I'm looking at the pot from the top view now, and I'm just refining the oval shape, trying to get it looking good. And then I'll work on making the bottom concentric with the top. Getting better. I'm going to start rounding the inside lip of the pot now. This will have a flared lip on it. So here I go. All right, so on the lip, on my last pot, I recessed the lip in. You can see there's the outer lip is raised, and then I recessed it in. And I like that. It's a nice detail. A lot of pots have that. And it really makes them a little more interesting. So I will do the same on this pot. So first I'm going to flatten the top. Okay, I think the lip is good now. So I can begin that inset. This will be some tricky carving. Let me just clean up the outer lip first. I guess I can just run my finger around here. Clean out all that stuff on the inside too. Okay, here I go with the inset. You can't see that. I filled the card on the camera, so I've been working away refining the pot while I was downloading all the video. So this is it so far. It's making progress. So I've got the light and the magnifying glass out now so I can work away because it is starting to get dark out now. I'm going to put my drainage hole in now before the clay gets too hard. So again, I'm just going to put one in the middle here, right about here. Okay, so here I go. The clay is quite hard. I think I'm going to have to cut it in. I think it's too hard to use a straw. So I'll poke a hole with a wire tool here and then I'll enlarge it. I can work from the other side too. Use my round tool, I think that'll work better. Yeah, it's working well. It's actually better than using the straw, I think. Through from this side too. Yeah, that works well. It's better than the straw. Makes a nicer circle. There, I'm through. And it also chamfers the edges. So there's my drainage hole on the bottom. Looks really good. Learned a new technique. So I'll continue working away at the pot. I think next I've got to fix the feet up. I mean, they're okay, but I've got to make them a little more symmetrical. So I'll carve away the feet and also reduce them. They're a little thick. And I've been thinking, I don't know about fancy feet on this. I think it would be better just sort of plain feet chamfered. So I'll try that and see how it looks. And if it needs something fancier, I can add some more details. Yeah, the magnifying glass really helps. I don't think it's possible to do detailed work without it. Even if you have excellent eyesight, you still need to kind of zoom in on it and see the details. I'm also finishing the bottom of the pot, trying to make it nice and smooth and flat. It's getting dark out now. The clay is drying, and I think I'm calling this pot finished. So let's have a look at it. Here's a look at the pot. So again, it's quite tiny. I'll show you the size of it with my finger. It's about the same size as that other one. Here's the feet on the bottom. The insides. Yeah, so that's my pot. I'll show you it beside the rectangular one. Here's a look at the two pots together. Very tiny pots. But I like them. They're different styles, about the same size. they should work quite nicely for some little trees. Maybe some succulents or something. Yeah, so that is pot number 3 completed now. There's the bunny out in the snow here. Are you surviving winter okay, little fella? Yeah? You going under there? Okay. We are on the way to pick up the little Fiat Abarth. So it is back here. Right here. There's your car, Julian. Oh, it's got paint protection film on the hood here, eh? That's good. I didn't notice that last time. Yeah. So the car is going outside now, ready for the trip home. What a wicked car. Alright, we're heading off with the new car. Handbrake's off. Just gonna take it easy because it's got to warm up. Well, there we are. The Fiat Abarth is in the driveway. It's not red, but at least it has red brakes and a red stripe down the side of it. Yeah, so that's home. What a fun drive that was. This thing's really fast. I'm really enjoying making these tiny little bonsai pots. And that is all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.